So starting with Jared, when I got back and going through the winter and watching last year's tape and then coming through spring, my message to Jared is he can be exactly what I thought he was going to be when I signed him, and just tons of potential. He's the athlete that we want to have inside, a great mover. A former basketball player, didn't play a lot of high school football, only played like 2 years. And I always kid and say, I didn't sign you because you're a great high school player. I saw your basketball tape and I knew, you knew the toughness and the kind of kid he was. What I can say honestly about Jared is he is really maturing. He's been locked in, detailed in his work, whether it's meetings, walkthroughs, practice, trying to do the extra. He's a kid that's in love with the weight room. Certainly not saying he's arrived, but man, certainly saying he's improved a ton over the last 7-8 months, and excited about his potential. Potential is just potential, but he is showing improvement for sure. Going to Jordan Miller, I think you can't talk to anybody in our building that ain't just in love with Jordan Miller, the person. And then you see the player and the worker he is. And when we came in, we set a goal weight for him, and a credit to Kyle in nutrition and David Feely and those guys, and Jordan obviously doing the work, buying into the, to the plan. But the kid's lost 30 pounds. He's changed his body. And you can imagine, man, put 30 pounds on your back and try to play football down here in South Florida and then take it off. His speed of play, plays longer, plays faster. His technique's improving. But Jordan's just a guy who's a great teammate who you can count on every day. And I think he's improved a ton as well. Certainly still got a long way to go, and he knows it. But, man, he is getting better, and I think the Canes fans are going to enjoy watching him this fall.
The athleticism of your group just as a whole, do you like where they're at?
Yeah, and you always want more. I always tell them, being athletic and speed of play is, starts with conditioning and understanding, how long can you play fast, and then good ball is do we have 7, 8, 9 guys, can we go that deep and still look the same? And that's the challenge for our group. That I don't want 4 guys, I want 8, 9, 10 guys that I say, hey, we can roll out there and it looks the same. And that's the goal. That's what we're trying to get right now, and that's what we're working towards.
Can you talk about DeAndre Johnson the same way you talked about tackles? What does he bring? How did Tennessee help the SEC the whole bit?
Yeah, I was joking with Dre this morning. I told him he's long in the tooth. He's one of the old guys in our room. He's very experienced. He's got stuff in his game he's got to clean up. But certainly he brings a nice skill set and a knowledge that you love to have. He's a great kid, great teammate, good heart. Players love him. He's got a lot of EQ. Like, he's done a really good job fitting in, knowing when to talk, knowing when to listen. And our players really respect him, and we're glad he's with us.
How do those guys replace who's now in the NFL? That's tough. They play most of the season.
I mean, that's for other people to care and worry about. Our job is to put a unit out there that's going to play winning football for the Canes. And certainly those guys did great things here, and we're a part of a great tradition. There's been a lot of great D linemen leave Miami, and you know what you do? You reload, and it's a standard. Playing D-line here, there's a certain way we do it, and those guys know it, and that's what they're trying to do.
From a strength standpoint, I guess comparing, contrasting, DeAndre, Quincy, Jalen, I guess how are they similar or how are they different from a playing style and strength standpoint?
You know what? I didn't really, obviously I didn't coach Quincy and Jalen, but I will say I think Andre has good play strength. I really think he does. Plays with good leverage and all that, and I think he's a skilled rusher. He's got some stuff that he's worked and perfected in his craft as a rusher that you can really see, it shows up out here and on film.
Yes, how's Zach McLeod doing, and what kind of role do you see for him this year?
Man, I tell you what, Zach's the poster boy for what you want in the Miami Hurricane. The way he comes to work every day, his attitude, his juice, his personality, his effort, his toughness, his competes. I mean, you talk about a guy who brings it every single day. And for a guy who played defensive end in the bowl game and was totally raw and didn't have a clue, and the work he's put in, not just with me, but he's out here on his own every day, Saturdays and Sundays working. I mean, Zach is a special young man, and he's a determined young man, and I'm excited about the year I think he can have.
A couple more questions for Coach Simpson.
You mentioned earlier with DeAndre that he just has some stuff he needs to clean up. What exactly are those?
Just like all of them, fundamental stuff. In go mode, hit and run blocks. In jet mode, pass rush games. Pad level in his rush, level of the rush with the QB, in move mode, learning what we need to do. You know, he's learning a whole new system. He's been hearing a verbiage and a system a whole nother way, and you come in and you got to learn something new. But just like he's no different from all those guys. But you can imagine being an old guy, he's picking it up pretty fast.
Jafari Harvey, anything you can say about him?
Yeah, I think, you know, I gave Jafari a real strong list of things coming out of spring in his point of attack tape that we had to work on, especially as a rusher. And man, I tell you what, through 5 days of camp, you can tell he's put the work in, and he's getting better. It's just he's got to become more consistent with it. But Jafari is a tough kid, and you know, the thing I can say is his effort out here is very consistent. He plays really, really hard.
Chris, you got one quick question.
For a young defensive lineman, what's usually the typical challenge? What's the biggest challenge to make that transition from college to
Yeah, I wish it was one thing. I think making the transition is like everything. I mean, you think about it. You walk in the weight room, and they're saying things and teaching you stuff you've never heard or seen before. How we warm up is totally new to them. How you call defense and how you get in a stance. I mean, the fundamental drills, like everything. Going to class is brand new. Where you go eat lunch? How do you get to class? How do you get back? I mean, literally, you think about these guys who just got here in the last few months, man, their life's been turned upside down. So, like from a football standpoint, what is fun for them is when they can put their hand in the dirt, and if they'll go forward and attack and they got that dog in them, that's fun for them. But obviously every time they do it, they're getting critiqued and it's something different. And obviously they're going from being, you know, these young guys from one of the best guys on the grass in high school to, man, I'm swimming and I don't even know how to get lined up and I'm counting on somebody to help me right now. So there's a lot of adjustment that goes on, I think, with those kids. But what's fun is we got really good intangibles in our room, and I think our old guys are doing a nice job of taking care of those young guys.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right,
Jess Simpson.
thank y'all.